What's up, y'all? It's Tanisha from the I Listen Network. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, you guys know about Kirk Franklin. You're probably aware of when him and his son got into a heated conversation over the phone and he was showing his blackness. Kirk Franklin was letting everybody know, that he ain't the one to be fucking with, And if you're familiar with black parenting, you could pretty much imagine how the tone and aggressiveness in his voice was used. And so, but the issue was Kirk Franklin was not aware that his son was recording him. So, like I said, it was a really heated debate. But after the fact, he found out and he decided to make a public statement, which I will put on my channel for you guys to see, and also a clipping of the argument between him and his son for you guys to view if you're not aware of what's going on. However, Steve Harvey knows Kirk Franklin pretty well. I guess they're friends. So he felt that he wanted to voice his opinion about how his buddy was pretty much acting on over the recording. And I'm going to just tell you this. Steve Harvey, alike most adults in this arena, agree with how Kirk Franklin was handling the situation. Some may feel that he could have toned it down a bit, but a lot of the times when you're in the heat of the moment of anger and the situation is going on with a parent and a child, usually it tends to follow those type of guidelines. So take a listen and tell me what you think.
Kirk Franklin has always been there for me. So I called him and I told Kirk say, Unc, I'm having a tough day today. And I just called him to lift him up, to tell him, no, man, get your head up out the dirt because you didn't do nothing wrong. See, it's amazing to me. The pain that Kirk Franklin was in was for twofold. First of all, the betrayal of his son. That had to be devastating, that you would think so little of me, that you would take me in one of my rawest moments and try to destroy me by posting something that was purely between me and you.
Now, I just got to interject and say, there, I agree. For a child to do that, that lets you know that the intent that they're really having, they always automatically don't agree with what you're saying when they're being reprimanded. But it's one thing for someone to take a private conversation, like he said, and air it out to the public. It's like now, from the child's point of view to the parent, that child is displaying that it does not respect the parent at all. At all. And they look at them as some type of financial gain. And it doesn't have to necessarily mean that they're going to gain money from the situation. No, I just mean like financial gain, like just they feel that they would get some type of garnishment from it. Whether it's notoriety, just a popularity type of vote, or anything in that sort. You know what I mean? That's exactly what his son, Kirk Franklin's son, was illustrating to all of us with his behavior. That, hey, I know that we're in 2021, social media is at a large, high demand, and it's the thing to do to go on the internet and to voice your opinion and let everybody know what's what. And, when you're mad at someone, you want to pretty much embarrass them, even if you feel that they are embarrassing you. And even if so, because he was embarrassing him, like his son was embarrassing his dad, and his dad was embarrassing him also by talking to him like that. His son was aware that the public did not know of the embarrassment. they would only know about the embarrassment unless he exposed it, which he did. But so caught up in the moment of what is going on, it was like as if Kirk Franklin was talking in front of everybody and was reprimanding, scolding his child in front of everybody to hear and see. Because that's exactly how his child responded back to him, by letting everyone hear and see what was going on. So, but let's tune back in.
And his son knew exactly what he was doing. That's why he posted it. But his son only posted the part that he thought could hurt Kirk. He didn't post the part of what he was asking of Kurt. He didn't post the part of what led up to Kurt's anger. He ain't posted none of the years.
See, that's the thing too. What we didn't know, we weren't aware that he was even asking him of anything. So we got to know and understand just psychologically that when we put these videos up, we're automatically editing. If it's not a live stream, it's in edit mode. Even if you didn't go and clip anything out, you just flowed all the way through when you press record. It still is an edit format because you have that ability to pause or cut or trim whatever it is that you don't want to be in your video. So I just wanted to make that noted that, okay, we're going to go back to the video.
Years, like Kirk was telling y'all about the therapy, but I'm telling you for a fact, he didn't post and tell you about none of the years that he's tried to make Kirk feel guilty and drag him through the mud and expect more because Kirk's new family was getting this and he didn't feel like he getting that. When Kirk's new family was bearing the fruits of his labor over the years, Kirk didn't have it to give before. But this young man, this boy, is 33 years old. How you 33 years old posting something your father said? That don't make no sense. That shows you the lack of manhood that this young man has. So now, the other reason, the second part of it that was hurting Kirk so bad was the church. Here y'all come. Here y'all come with y'all's righteous self. Y'all so righteous, man. You can't do nothing when you a Christian.
And I was going to touch base on that too. You know, because he is in the church arena, it's like you got to pretty much walk like you're on eggshells. You know, the church is going to be the first group of people that's going to pick someone apart if they're distributing any type of behaviors that is inappropriate. Just bottom line, because everyone that walks into that church building feels like they are angelic. They are highly favored. And so everything else, meaning people outside of the church, whether they don't say it or not, they feel is beneath them. And if they have a conversation with someone outside the church about anything religious or spiritual in that realm, they're going to automatically feel that they're going to be the successor in that debate and that they know what they're talking about. So they're the knowledgeable one. They're the ones that you learn from today and furthermore, not the other way around. So, you know, being sedity and uppity, like, yeah, they do take that approach. Prude, yeah, they fall all along those guidelines. Then you have the people that do attend church that they know, you know, that they ain't right. And they do a little hanky-panky, little stuff here and there, meaning they get unchristian-like, you know what I mean, outside of the church. So they will, you know, be more of the fencer. They'll come in and they follow the rule. They're like basically are part of the rule of 10. They're the three people, or the four people, I should say, that are on the fence with everything. Like they half religious, only when and spiritual only when they're in church. They go real hard. But when they leave out of the church, they like everybody else. And they'll play and support both roles. Because that's how they feel it's easier to fit to their lifestyle. And so those ones at times end up just being facers to those in that community, that like the 3 out of the rule of 10 that are all for the religious and spiritual realm, and feel that they're prude, and they are the sedity type. Those are the ones that they tend to just be yes men's to when they're in their appearance or around their type of energy. They will not, under any circumstances, show that they too are okay with the other lifestyle and its traits that come along with it. So it's just sad to say that he had to deal with that type of challenge, because when he goes to have a conversation with those people, Kirk Franklin and the church members, it's a different type of response. It's not the same type of response that he gave the public, because they're going to bring up certain things like Bible certs. And he's going to have to, step away from what he's saying and go into more detail, explicit detail about what they brought to the table, like explaining the depths of what that cert means. And yes, if he, he was obedient to it, or no, if he wasn't, explain why, and then apologize. And so, that could be a lengthy conversation that he could have with them. Whereas with us as the public, it could just be short and brief, and, we just move on and pass our opinions. But back to the video.
And like every word out of Kirk's mouth got to have crosses on it, because he a gospel singer. Kirk was a man before he was a gospel singer. Kirk was a sinner before he got saved. Kirk is a sinner today. But then I got news, church. So are you. Oh, see, y'all.
And just to update you guys, if you're not aware of why he said sinner, obviously everyone's not perfect, so everyone has done something wrong in their life where it is compared to as you committed a sin. But what he was really aiming at was Kirk Franklin had a porn problem. He would always watch porn a lot.
Like, yo, he really used to go dumpster diving, like, for his videos, like a fiend for a fix. Like, his shit was crazy, yo.
And he had discussed that. Him and his wife had did an interview years ago, bringing that to the light. And that was his way of touching bases to the public, letting the people know that, hey, I am just like you too. So let you see my common ground here. Like, I'm not above you, although I'm in a church. I'm in a hip-hop community, but with the church, I'm tying into the hip-hop community with using artists that are from that community and featuring them on his songs. And he's touching the urban society a lot. He just wanted to let everybody know that he does connect with them just on a normal basis, and he wanted to let everyone know just how normal he is, that he has issues too. He's not perfect. So in retrospect, it's like if anybody was leery about following his advice, it's like, okay, they would be a little more comfortable with following his advice. But after he would state that, what he used to do, which was watch porn, then they'd be more reluctant to listen to what he has to say, more than so think that he doesn't know anything about what I'm going through. Like, especially someone that's dealing with sexual addiction, for instance. They would now, instead of looking at him and feel like he can't relate because he's in the church and it automatically give him that impression that he has this type of portfolio, that he's not of that nature and wouldn't understand that walk of life. By him talking about that, sharing that with us, would let that person know that, yes, he does know, and he can be very informative and helpful to you and whatever it is you're going through as far as with your sexual addiction. But like I said, back to the video.
Just got Kirk's cussing on tape. You trying to tell me Kirk, the only saved person that cuss? Wait a minute. Nephew Tommy has done a series of pranks with church folks. How many times on the prank have we heard some church folks cussing? Oh, Lord, please don't put this on the radio. How many times have you heard pastors that get mad and use profanity? But now Kirk used it, now all of a sudden y'all ready to ride him to hell. Well, I don't think y'all should do it that way, because y'all ain't better than Kirk. I ain't better than Kirk, and nobody's better than Kirk. The next thing that y'all need to understand, every man with a grown son, practically all of us done had this conversation with our sons. Or we done had to have some come to Jesus meetings with these boys, because they reach a certain age where they start smelling themselves, and then all of a sudden they buck in the system. Well, when you buck up against me, you running up into manhood over here. And now since you want to act like you a thug and a gangster in here, well, whoa. Let me show you who the real OG is here. And he got a taste of it. Tommy has a son. Jay has a son. Tommy got sons. Jay got sons. I got sons. They done all bit it. They done all felt the wrath. And they had it coming. Just like Kirk's boy had it coming. So for those of you that don't have sons, that don't know how it works, this is how it really go. Kirk been trying to raise that boy for a long time. But nah, man, he's so mad at Kirk because he blaming Kirk. So let me tell you what happens, y'all, for those of you that don't have children. When you have children and they get to a certain age, they have the power to make decisions. And once your child can make their own decisions, then they're going to end up in some situations based on those decisions.
And he's right about that. I am a parent myself, and I am a boy mom. I have 2 boys, and I have a son that is a teenager. He's getting ready to come out of school pretty soon. And I run into those interferences with him a lot, because he's at this point where he definitely can make a lot of decisions for himself. Like, he doesn't need me to tell him what to wear and how to wear it, or to even prepare his clothes, or to prepare his meals for him. He's at that age that he can, if he's hungry, he can go down to the stove and make his own food. If he wants his own money and he wants to buy things and stuff like that, he's at that age that he can go and get a job and have a job and buy the things that he wants to buy. So that takes away that permission that me as a parent will always be able to implement over him. It takes that away. So that now becomes second. And where that now comes in is that now it becomes me as an advisor. So it's like, okay, he makes us the purchase now, and now I can step in and say, oh, you know what, my opinion, I don't know if you should have bought that, or, oh yeah, that was a good, smart, move to buy that. You see what I'm saying? I don't have that liberty to stop him from having access. So that's the situation that Steve Harvey is basically getting into. And even with outside of boys, I'm just leave that situation. It's with all, it's with girls too, You reach that age, you can make decisions for yourself. You begin to rebel against your parent. A lot of things that your parent says pretty much is that use that wordplay where it goes out one ear and out the other, That's basically what happens. And I mean, most kids are mindful when dudes, take lead to whatever it is that their parent is saying. However, it still is up in the air. So that's just what was happening there. But like I said, back to the video.
It could have been avoided had they not made those decisions. But it's a funny thing when your child, because of a sense of entitlement, thinks that the situation they in becomes your fault. When, oh no, young man, young lady, you made that decision. Not based on nothing I taught you. Even though I forewarned you, you made this decision anyway. So when you make them beds, you got to lay in it. But don't make the bed, and then because you don't like the way the bed lay, you mad at me because you in the bed that's uncomfortable. But it's because of a decision you made. Kirk Franklin's son done made some decisions. My sons done made some decisions. Tommy's son, Jay's son, Shirley's daughter. Carla got a daughter that's going to come of age that's going to make a decision. And all y'all passing judgment on Kirk's parenting skills, you don't have no kids that have reached the age where they can make a decision. Oh, but that day coming, and you're not going to believe the decisions that they're going to make. So y'all get off Kirk Franklin's back. Because I tell you right now, you're making a mistake. You come over here, you're going to get cussed smooth out. And I do a way better job than Kirk. Way better. I got some combinations for your ass. I wish I would. Kirk don't.
So, like I said, y'all, pretty much his son was in the wrong. And those that are parents understand that and agree with that. Anybody that disagrees with that, I definitely would like to hear your thoughts. Share your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. If you ain't subscribed, definitely subscribe to this channel. And, you know what? If you may, just press the post notification bell so that you can be on time for every time I drop a video on this channel. But this is Tanisha from the I Listen Network. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.